You're laughing at it before we even start.
He does this all the time.
How'd you make holy water?
I don't know.
You boil the hell out of it.
Fuck's sake.
How many feminists does it take to change the light
Oh,
bulb?
fuck.
Oh, God. Go on.
None. They don't need one. They've already got a glass ceiling.
Oh, shit.
Right,
He's clapping his own joke here.
Even I don't do that. All right, scumbags.
Welcome back to the same episode of In the Doghouse, but in part 2. Yeah, we're still here with Chris. Obviously, pretty clear. We've split this into 2 shows because so much to cover. Chris obviously come down here, and I seem daft to be like, right, we'll get halfway through this, and bye, Chris. We'll do this like in a month's time. No, we'll just keep it.
They've made me drive back up for part 2. It's like...
Yeah, we've just done this like 3 weeks later. It's after Christmas. No. We're still here. Same another week for you, but same day for us. So, there's you know the score. Merch, Patreon, good that shit. Anyway, we're getting back into it because we'll lose our train otherwise. There's just so much to cover here.
Hashtag soz.
Yeah, if you remember, obviously, what we covered last week, if you haven't listened to it already, you probably should, because this probably won't make much sense. So, yeah.
I was abused.
Yeah.
That was a good podcast, yeah?
Yeah. Obviously, at the end of the last episode, we were just talking about, you know, your living situation under Eunice's care, a lot of the abuse that you lived through. And we just sort of ended on a bit of a light note about how you were like literally falling asleep in the fields in the summertime with your dog. And like, it was just, I don't know, it felt beautiful and kind of a nice place to end it, because there's a whole lot of fucking horrible in this. And I don't know, it just felt nice. And I don't mean to sound horrible, but I was like, it'd be a nice place to leave it for the listeners.
It's like a soft blanket.
Yeah, literally just a soft landing. Yeah. And to sort of follow on from that, Chris, you guys, we spoke a little bit about how much money Eunice had, where you really didn't know where this money came from, and no one managed to work out where. You guys all went to Florida on holiday, which
we just didn't go to Florida, though. We did Florida in style.
But this is just, again,
it's a so out of place thing to happen.
It's just another part of this story that just seems to make no fucking sense. Have you ever managed to like make sense of it yourself? I know we spoke about probably going mad trying to work out.
I spend probably an hour a night just sat there trying to work this out in my head.
Really?
Yeah,
Still?
yeah. Honestly, still, yeah.
I mean, I think anyone would, to be honest.
It's better than counting sheep.
Yeah.
So Florida was seriously fucked up because we were being heavily abused. That sounds terrible. Heavily abused. We were being probably abused right up until like 2 weeks before Florida. When do you guys remember Woolworths?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was this weird shop where normal people went. So in America, it's kind of like a small Walmart for you American viewers, listeners. And Eunice was obsessed with us all matching. So when we went to church, we were all dressed in the exact same uniforms, all the exact
That's very
same.
cult-like.
Oh God! There's a picture somewhere of us in the Cardiff newspaper, because we went to a convention, Jehovah's Witness convention, and we're all dressed in red little romper suits with top hats.
What?
Yeah.
This is outfits she's picked out for you.
Yeah. And she'd sew them quite often. She was a great seamstress. She would sew these little weird outfits. Like I've got.
That's scary.
You want to see a weird fucking picture?
Of course.
I was born for this.
Absolutely. Do you want to see something strange? Yes.
So yeah, we would.
It's not a picture of Reg's feet, is it?
They're fucking weird.
Yeah, I ain't arguing that. I don't even
You haven't even seen them.
I don't even know
like,
the cunt is. By the sounds of it, he's got some bad feet. Athlete's foot cream, mate. Try it.
I'm going to fix my feet.
Are they that bad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They need amputating.
They don't-
Jesus.
No, they don't got. They're not like they haven't got trench foot or gangrene. They're just flat, man.
Just
Give me
crimes
a
against
break.
humanity.
Okay, I just came across some pictures of me on a stag do. That was not.
Not those pictures.
Not those pictures.
You really right. So we would go to church all dressed like that.
Oh God! Wow.
Yeah,
Sorry, do you mind if I?
yeah. So we'll put this on the. I don't know. Do you put notes up
On the
Yeah,
Discord.
we have a Discord, so
for all you fucked up people? You can.
that's.
Other images are available on my OnlyFans.
Can I ask? Is that who's that gentleman there? Is that Eunice's parents?
So that's Eunice's dad.
Mother.
That's Judith, who died.
Yeah, and how old is Eunice there?
She's probably late 40s.
Right. Okay. And
then, of course, I'm in there somewhere.
yeah,
so-
which one's you?
The handsome one.
This one. This chap.
So that's my little brother.
Yeah.
Then that's me. That's Victoria. That's Aloma. And that's Charlotte.
Right. That's you front and center there.
Yeah.
And-
Always.
yeah, but
Always.
Like, mate, the scary. You're smiling like.
Because this was a day out.
Oh, I see.
This was a day out. We went to get our pictures taken. So we would roll up in church like that. She would make all these weird little fucking uniforms. And that was quite tame for us.
That's. Mate, I just.
We would like always be in little like
Yeah.
little shirts.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me. But these are my 5 pictures I have of my childhood.
You've only got 5 pictures.
Yeah. So
Christ, man.
that
why
was
did
me
you,
on
why,
acid.
Why,
You don't need to see
why treat a child like that and then have take pictures of you?
it's weird, isn't
I
it?
just for the
I'm
show.
sorry. I'm asking you this, and like,
I don't know. Why would you?
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm pointing this. I'm saying this to you, but I'm really saying it.
don't
I'm
know.
saying it to the fucking universe.
I'm assuming it's for the show. Like, oh yeah, look, they're all right. Yeah,
I think that's
they're
the
all
same
right.
reason she had the giant American cars. It was
Look at
to
me.
power. It was to show off power. Like, did she really want a? Well, she had a Range Rover for a bit, but she scrapped that straight away.
Did it break down?
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah.
Funny
Blue-
that.
Strange. Who would have thought?
But I loved that thing. That made a nice rumble. But as it blew up,
As the coolant came out the side
Yes.
of the head.
You're a pair of dicks.
soz. But it was the same reason she had the big Chevrolet. She had the Escalade. She would always have power vehicles. But yeah, Florida. So for the first 2 weeks before we went to Florida, we were treated quite well. We were taken shopping. We had 11 matching outfits. So when I say matching, we had lime green top, white shorts, and lime green trainers. And then every other colour variation of that. All identical with caps as well. We must have looked really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we'd have a red version. So red top, red cap, red shoes, like plimsoll things, and then white shorts. That's all we wore, these variations. And we would all be in the exact same colours each time we went out.
and you all went to Florida for how long? 6 weeks.
It's I think it was 7 weeks. So we flew business.
Like we spoke.
And that's expensive.
Like we
Yeah,
spoke
yeah.
about this earlier, before during shooting or whatever, and we
We
trying
were
to-
shooting. I thought we were just throwing lead down range.
We were, yeah.
We were just replanting the
But
lead
we were
trees.
just we were saying like this must have been 6 figures.
Yeah, I could easily.
That's it. We've both been out there.
It's not cheap.
No,
It's not, and to take how many kids? 5, you say?
There was 5 kids. Her parents, her ex-husband.
She was married.
She was married at one point, to a Jehovah's Witness elder. Someone called Mike.
But there's no divorce in
Oh,
the Jehovah's Witness unless a case of adultery.
I don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
We
went to Florida.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going off on a tangent.
Stop putting sense into this, all right?
Yeah, sorry.
Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in sense. Come on. They believe in Armageddon. That's it. So yeah, we all went to Florida. We flew business. Now, I've never been on an airplane at this point. So we go to Gatwick Airport, which can you imagine a person who's obsessed with everything
and just it
Go
must have
into
just
it,
blown
yeah.
your mind.
Airports fascinate me now.
Yeah, I still get. I was about to say get off on airports. No, that's dodgy. Don't do that. But I still get excited going on a freaking Ryanair flight. Actually, no, I don't.
No,
That's bad.
Like the
draw the
experience
line
at the
before
airport
that.
when everything
I
is
still
busy.
get excited taking off and stuff. So for this was 98, we went there. So I can't remember how old I was, but yeah, I'd have been early teens, coming up from my teens. I was blown away by it, and the flight got delayed, so we all slept in the airport. I was happy as Larry,
Yeah.
but we weren't being abused for any of this. We get to the airport, we were given a McDonald's, we were cuddled, and like I had a bit of a cold. I wasn't very well on this flight, and she was cuddling me. We were weirded out at first.
Yeah.
We get on the plane, we're in business. Like, those seats are bougie, man.
Yeah, man.
This was Virgin Atlantic,
Yeah,
747, took off. It was incredible. It's a long ass flight to Florida, by the way.
it's 10 hours, isn't it?
I shit myself on the flight. When we landed, it's just like, what's that smell? And I'd shit myself.
Yeah.
It was a scary landing, all right? There was lightning. I was trying to shit myself. She took me into the loos before we went through passport control in Florida, lovingly sorted
But
me
you
out.
must have been thinking, I'm going to get the shit beaten out of me.
I literally, well, it's too late.
I've done that myself.
I prepped for that. All right? I pre-exited the shit.
But you must have been thinking, like, I'm going to be beaten senseless.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah.
100%. Yeah, I was cuddled. And this was also away from people.
This is what I was going to say, because in front of her parents and her ex-husband...
She was
other
always quite
people-
harsh, but she tended not to abuse us so heavily in front of them.
No, but even, like, away from people.
Yeah, we this whole holiday, I know this is a bit of a spoiler, we were not abused once. Not once. And we did things wrong as well, because,
Kids. You're kids.
We're kids,
And
yeah,
you're on
yeah.
holiday. You
I
become...
rugby kicked my brother into the swimming pool. Because we had a villa, and it wasn't just, you get your higher villa. This was a very nice villa
all out. This
with
is
a 25-meter pool.
Fuck.
It was a very nice villa. I've actually tracked this villa down, and it's still for hire.
No
And
way.
it's $5,000 a week now. So I don't know what it was back then.
Yeah.
But, to rent a villa like that, that's big boy money. Like,
That's 7 weeks.
Yeah, we had
with 5 kids.
we had a big, she had a Dodge Ram pickup and a Dodge,
Caravan.
we call them like day vans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She had a big Dodge one of those as well. So it was the V10 diesel big pickup. It was fucking amazing. And we just romped around Florida in these things. I remember
Disneyland and...
Oh God, yeah.
Like,
We had a all-out pass to Disneyland. We must have gone to probably 2 weeks of our 6-7 weeks up there was spent solid in Disneyland.
What's
I
going,
was
through,
in
what's going through
heaven.
your head at this point? Like,
That
are you thinking
that we're
that
cured?
this is it? This is it. Well, it's all
the
over.
demons-
The demons have
done.
left us. Like as we mentioned in the previous podcast, she had told us there were demons within us. We believed it. This is what must happen when the demons are out. This is not, it was almost two extremes because this is not a normal holiday. Most kids don't get this, do they?
No,
No.
Like they might go to Florida for a week, but they
2 weeks in fucking Spain.
yeah. Or a week down at bloody St. Ives. Like,
Literally, I did. Yeah,
Right,
2
there's
weeks
nothing
in
wrong with St.
Cornwall.
Ives,
That was
right?
like that was the
hey, that's an
holiday.
upgraded caravan. Don't you show off your fucking caravan to me. All right? But like we went down to Cape Canaveral and did a private tour. So she hired out a minibus, and we had like not an astronaut, but an engineer show us around the rockets and stuff. I touched a bit of the moon.
Just
Yeah, it was. I remember like they've got this massive hall in Cape Canaveral where you sit under a Saturn rocket and you can just
Whoa.
walk under it. And I remember just being blown away.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be a fucking astronaut. Look at me now.
Mate, you do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I've done it. But like for a kid who's had no information, this was,
Nothing.
No, yeah.
and then we left Cape Canaveral. We got on a cruise ship. We did a cruise. We went to the Bahamas on this cruise ship. I remember getting off and going to this Caribbean island
Reg
where
loves the Bahamas.
like the Bahamas.
yeah,
Where was you go? Georgetown? No, not
Nassau.
Nassau. That's
yeah.
the
Nassau.
Yeah, Nassau.
Yeah, and then there were a couple of little islands
Yeah,
near
like
that we
Bimini
went to.
and- yeah.
Yeah. So I remember just sitting on a beach and just
it must
being-
have been mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, you've never
And
It's
we
seen
were
like
treated-
one extreme to the fucking
Any
other,
of
isn't
and
it?
the suite on that
Completely.
cruise ship. They've actually written the ship off now. Derelict. But the suite on that cruise ship was just fucking huge.
I so much about this I'm struggling. Just this bit alone that I'm struggling to wrap my head around. The financials behind it. Like, where
Yeah.
the fuck is this money coming from?
Because
The
how much
farm
is a
is not-
suite on a farm on a cruise ship for a week?
Fucking a suite is like tens of thousands. Tens of
Yeah,
thousands.
we were sat on the captain's table. We did a private tour of the bridge. It was almost like she knew these people. That's like, it was that bougie. Like our table had a fucking ice sculpture on it. Who the fuck puts an ice sculpture on a table? It's really hard to talk to the guests the other side when you've got fucking Mount Olympus sat in the middle.
Oi,
Like,
Shank.
the money, like just the sheer amounts of money. I'm like, the farm is not making this much money. She's not getting this much money from the
oh,
foster
nowhere
kid.
near.
There's
Nowhere near.
nowhere-
The farm was a loss.
Matey, the poor old farmer, he had not left this kind of
He
money.
probably left 100k.
Yeah.
But nowhere near. This was years after his death. Like,
Yeah.
nowhere near enough to.
warrant all this.
No. Like, one of the cars she imported alone would have wiped his accounts out. So, how. Yeah,
What's
I've always
going
hinted
on?
there are parts of that holiday, and I've hinted this on other podcasts. There are parts of that holiday which I can't remember.
Got complete black.
Complete black. I remember going to bed and waking up a couple of days later. That's the weird fucking thing. And I know Victoria, my other sister, who sadly took her own life, she, similar.
Similar experience, like
Yeah. So, did stuff happen while we were out there? Possibly. I think we were abused out there.
You think? For-
I genuinely think. Because how could you create money like that?
Yeah, for her financial gain.
Yeah. And there are some Florida man. No, I'm joking. Love you, Florida. Please, I'm coming out there soon for work. Like, don't kill me. But there must have been a financial motive for taking us out there. And I don't know it. And that really bothers me.
It's the not knowing
Yeah.
that I can completely sympathize with that, because the
just gnaws at
knowing,
you.
it's just there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's this gap, and none of it makes sense, but it would all make sense if you knew that one bit. It would
Yeah.
all tie together.
I just want the puzzle piece. And I'm not getting that puzzle piece. I had a really sore butthole. No, I'm joking.
bro.
Sorry.
Yeah, man, if
I
anyone's got
didn't have a sore butthole.
if anyone's got the rights to make the jokes about it, man, it's you. Okay, so laugh it up.
But yeah, amazing holiday. We went swam with dolphins, saw killer whales at SeaWorld, and yeah, it was amazing. Disneyland's amazing.
And it was just perfection the whole way.
It was
through.
incredible. Like Epcot, like what I can't even remember what that park is
Universal. No,
called. No, it's a Disney park, but it's called Epcot.
yeah.
There you go. Fuck's sake. And they got this like big lake, and you go and see all the different countries, and it was just
The beers around the world.
yeah.
There you go. I was a bit young for that. I preferred the Coke all around the world. Coca-Cola, you fucking filthy minded.
This one's from Colombia.
This one's from Peru.
This one's really good, really spicy. Yeah, it was the best holiday. Like, I will never. Hurts me to say, I will never be able to give my child the type of holiday that I had. Probably for good reasons.
Yeah.
Like, it was abnormal. We've gone from being starved, abused daily,
Living in
beaten,
squalor.
to what the Kardashians would do for a holiday. Like,
Literally, like you're going on holiday like celebrity, the children of celebrities.
Yeah.
And then what? You get on the plane and
So flew business home.
still everything's
Still
great.
everything's fine. Go through the airport. I shit myself again.
But that was still fine.
Absolutely fine. Yeah. Stank this time, but it was fine. really bad. I've really got to stop shitting on planes.
Still doesn't know.
Do you see that flight recently that got grounded because someone had the runs?
No.
From the back of the plane, the rear toilets were
Oh no.
stopped, so
Oh,
he had
God.
to run to the front.
He didn't make it.
He didn't make it all the way the long.
Oh.
And the
God.
picture, there's only a couple of pictures, is just puppy pads all along where they've tried to. They had to land the plane because of the smell.
That's
and
a bit shit, that is.
It's a bit shit. He didn't make it at all. There was someone in the loo the other end, so he just. Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's
Poor fucker.
shit luck. But so we landed. I shit myself. We driven home in the American car, darling, and we get home. We open the front door, and there's steam in the house. Steam.
Right.
And turns out, do you know what immersion heater is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's just boiled away
I'd left it on boost
for 7 weeks.
for 7 weeks.
And it just boiled all that fucking water away.
Yeah.
And it must have been like a tropical jungle.
It was like a tropical jungle in there.
Did it wreck anything in the house?
Oh,
The
wallpaper
ceiling.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah,
that
it
was
had that nice little Bowie thing in it.
Ooh.
I got the shit beaten out of me.
Straight away.
Yeah, we went from 0 to 100 straight away. I got the literal shit beaten out of me. But I had a bit more fat on me this time, so I was ready for it.
And then it was just straight back to normal for all of you. Back to
Yep.
just from the moment you walked in the
The moment
door.
we walked through the door, it was like, job's done, bang.
It's fucking weird.
It is weird, isn't it?
You'll
It's
send
weird.
yourself mad trying to understand madness.
Yeah. I learned a little while ago, you know, I still have moments where I try and work it out. Most nights I sit there, literally lay
Yeah,
down
you-
and
you-
try and
you
work
will.
it out. But I've learned there's no way I'm ever going to get an answer.
Yeah, no method to the madness.
Yeah.
She's never gonna. You're never gonna be able to speak to her.
No.
Realistically,
No.
and she's never gonna.
I saw her recently, but
Yes, but saw her not to obviously.
yeah.
be like,
I didn't go up and ask, for questions. But imagine like, hello, darling. Why did you break my legs with with a pole? It's probably not going to go that well.
No.
I'd have probably been locked up. But yeah, just 0 to 100 straight away, like quicker than your Land Rover, because it's never made it to 100.
No, it hasn't. No, I don't. Stabber is listening. No.
No, do an oil pump before that.
I'm gonna beat you at all, pump.
There's plenty out there.
Bunch of dicks.
So yeah, the abuse really started, but we were getting slightly older now.
Yeah.
So it was more, there's quite a lot of mental abuse. There was a fucked up bit where she just decided I was going to be a girl. So for a year of my life, like not quite a year, but I spent dressed up as a girl. There was some sexual abuse thrown in with that. It started going more mental abuse.
I suppose if you've run
Yeah.
out, when the physical abuse is getting to a point where you're bigger than her, and if you were to snap, she's probably she's by the sounds of things, she's an incredibly smart person.
Yeah.
She's thinking, I'll just have to do this a different way.
Yeah. So what don't they do? What don't they expect? Boom, this.
Yeah, literally, like you were saying about, it was the beatings weren't working, so it was just shock tactics of just hit you around the back of the head.
And eventually we got a bit too, there were times where she knocked us out comfortably. I remember one instance knocked out. It was weird. I got knocked out. Went to the floor and I slowly zoned out. It's the weirdest knockout I've ever had.
Just like fade to black.
Yeah, fade to black. But I remember it's almost as if, I can only describe it as if you've ever turned on a TV and it's that fuzziness.
Yeah.
It was that in the ears and everything. I was so at peace. There was no pain. There was nothing. I think I was on my way out.
Dude, that sounds like dying. No, I'm not even being funny. That literally sounds like you're dying.
If that's dying, then it was quite pleasant.
That's what people say is like when you everything stops hurting, you are literally at peace.
Yeah.
Your is it your brain releases a load of chemicals just to make
I couldn't see anything, but it just felt warm. That's probably the blood trickling down the back of my neck, but it felt lovely. If I tell you what, I said this the other day, and someone was like, "You are a fucked up individual." If someone made a drug where I could get that feeling, I would take it every fucking day, because it was like a warm blanket. It was better than sex.
It sounds literally like death.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. I've got low blood pressure, so if I stand up too quickly, I can often fall over.
Is there anything you haven't got?
But because I know what you mean. Your fuzzy feeling, all your vision starts to go, your hearing starts to go. It's because your blood's not going up to your head, and you literally just fucking. And it's not a horrible feeling at all. No. I'm not comparing me having low blood pressure, you nearly fucking dying, but I know what you're describing. Yeah,
and I wasn't scared, and I woke up to my sister raising me, trying to. She probably brought me back, and I was upset when I came back. I remember being
now you're in pain, and now it's all still real.
Fuck me, I had a headache that day.
What did she hit you with?
I don't actually know.
I've
always said it was a piece of wood, but then I was chatting with my sister, and I actually don't know what she hit with me. I assumed it was a piece of wood, but it hurt.
Yep.
Spoiler, it hurt. It hurt like a motherfucker. The headache for a couple of days was but the thing is, you have a hit like that, you should go to hospital.
Yeah.
That's
I was unconscious.
You could have a bleed on the brain, or
that would explain a lot of my life choices since.
I got Dane Burbage.
That's brilliant. The broken bones where my sister would put 2 pieces of wood and baling twine.
Yeah.
The orange baling twine. Love that shit.
Yeah. And just bind it up.
Yeah, bind it up and hold it all together.
Straighten it and just hope that it heals.
Yeah.
Have you ever had X-rays to see?
Oh God, don't! It's like a spider's web.
Is it?
Yeah.
They've seen
when the court case was going on, I got inspected by a coroner. That's how much injury there was. So when an abuse case happens, and spoiler, there's a court case. You normally get seen by a doctor, but very quickly the doctor's like, no. This is a step above us. So I got taken to Gloucestershire's. At the time, it was under the magistrate's court, which was the coroner's office, and I got inspected by a coroner.
Lay on this cold slab.
I bet
it literally was a cold slab. I was made to lay down, and he pulled my pants down, like, thanks, buddy. He's treating me to a drink, for fuck's sake. But, he's like, show me on the dollies. But, they were counting the scars, they were using, UV light and stuff to pick it up, stuff they would do to a dead body.
That's the level, by the sounds of it, the level of injuries that you endured, and
we are so lucky. We got away with it.
It's a fucking miracle that none of you were killed by her.
God loves me.
Fucking. Summit's looking out for you.
The spaghetti monster has looked after me well. We're not going to talk about religion. Let's not do that. But jokes aside, I'm more than aware. There are times we probably shouldn't have survived it. We really.
From the drowning, the living in a cold, damp caravan through winter with no heat, literally hunting food to survive. And
I nearly had that fucking deer, I'm telling you.
Nearly starved to death. The odds are really stacked against you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're still here is just... Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It's nuts. But yeah, so you said this was your sister Victoria who was bandaging up your arm and stuff.
Yeah, so we were off. Yeah, we'll get into the car crashing in a minute. Good story. But it was me, Victoria, and Loma at this point.
Yeah,
and we would literally, look after each other. And there was loads of weird things. I was better at taking physical abuse. I could take beatings more than them. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a bloke or if I a tough ass. I don't know. I could take more physical abuse, so I would quite often own up to stuff and let them steal stuff so that we would eat later on.
Wow.
So, and then of course we were eating off the land as well. There was a potato patch that, oh God, I love that potato patch. Fucking love potato. Right, my wife hates this. I'm obsessed still with potatoes and mint because we had a massive mint bush.
Yeah, mint and potatoes is a fucking...
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
I'll back you on that one.
So we would boil these potatoes on stolen fuel on a little furnace, and we would make ourselves boiled potatoes with mint. And we didn't quite have the butter. That's you Tory fuckers. I'll take my Land Rover down to the farm shop and get some butter.
God's sake.
That's if you make it. But like there was loads of stuff like that, and we had access to a lot of flour and stuff, as you do. So we'd make potato cake, which was just water and flour mixed up, and then you'd fry it. Not the best. I remember these potato cakes as the best things ever. And I don't know why I call them potato cakes because there's no potato in them. But it's like a flour pancake. And I made one about 6 months ago. Try and recreate my childhood. Like, oh, you've got to try this. It was the worst thing I've ever had in my life. It was like eating porridge fried.
But like at the time, it must have been.
It was hot. It was warm. It was. It kept us going.
Yeah.
And we couldn't always eat. Like, she was obsessed with finding new ways to torture. Like, I think washing up liquid.
I remember you say it.
Yeah.
I remember hearing you say
so
it.
I always said I can taste the... I've been tested on this. Like, don't ever tell your mates on stag do's and stuff you can taste the difference between washing out liquid, because they will test you on these facts. But I can taste the difference between all the brands of washing up liquid at the time, because she would force us to hold the washing up liquid in our mouths if she thinks we'd lied about stealing food, and then walk around the main bowls garden she had. We'd walk around it 5 times.
She had a bowls lawn.
Yeah, she had a bowls lawn.
Fuck me.
It was a really big fucking lawn as well, but it was perfectly flat to play bowls on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work if it had a slant.
Be a bit shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. So we'd have to walk around the perimeter of that 5 times, and if we weren't sick, we could spit it out. If we were sick, we'd have to eat the sick. And then start again. So after torture and abuse like that, you don't always want to eat.
No.
So there would be nights where we would have access to food, like potato pancakes, which aren't potato, and you couldn't.
How the hell are you meant to
TCP. She'd make us drink TCP. Like, I still struggle with the smell when I go to hospital, which seems to be all the fucking time. Because,
mate, I struggle with hospitals, and all I did was go in there when my mum was ill. I didn't have anything like. How the fuck you set foot in anywhere where there's been any form of antibacterial?
I normally have to be. I normally have to be very ill. Like, I have turned down ambulances when I was coughing up blood and stuff, and my wife's like, "No, you're going in the fucking ambulance." Like,
yeah.
There was one incident later on where she stabbed a needle into my shoulder. So my sister, after the car accident, was
a needle, as in like a syringe needle, or
hypodermic. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So my sister, after the car accident, she was on a lot of medications.
Yeah.
And she needed needles all the time. And Eunice one day crept up behind me and just smashed one into my shoulder. So now I have a fear of needles. So fucking bad. So when I go to hospital, they have to get mental health straps out to keep me down.
Down.
Yeah. Fuck. Or gas and air.
But rightly so, because people that just have a phobia of needles with no real reason.
Yeah.
Not reason, but like it's just a phobia. Like,
the first time I went in there, it was kind of like, well, man up. And then
I was like, let me spin you a yarn.
Well, no, I didn't. I put up with it. And then one doctor came in and he's like, I know you. I've seen your story. And ever since then, every time I've gone into that area,
they're like, right, okay.
They're just straight away, get the straps. So they gas and air me, anything to get a needle in, because I'll be sat there hemorrhaging blood internally. and like, oh, I'm booking myself out. I don't need a needle.
I'm fine. I'm okay.
The one time I got out of bed, I'm fine. I just face planted, and then they put the needle in.
Yeah, man, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
I'm sure that's illegal, but
They get it in you. They're saving your life at the end of the day.
I was so annoying. Like, how did you get it in? You were
not with us.
Yes. Like a lot of the nurses follow me, so they'll probably see this at some point. And fair play. I don't know how you do it, but there's 3 nurses there. One I call Helga, because when she puts a needle in it, you know it. She's like a fucking East German, like. No, she harpoons your heart.
I was part of the Stasi.
Yes, absolutely. She could throw like a fucking rock 16 miles. Like, just want a bicep.
Pole vault over the Berlin Wall.
Yeah. She's lovely, actually. She's a big softie. She just tries to kill me every time I go in there. But yeah, the nurses there are incredible. The way they deal with me, because they know the story now, and I end up there a lot.
Yeah.
I know their kids' names, or most of the nurses. I'm like, how's little Laura doing? As they're strapping you down, like, have some gas in there. Like, gas in there is amazing if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, I can see why they're trying to ban it.
No, they have.
Oh, they have actually.
Well, they haven't banned it in hospitals.
No,
recreationally.
Because they ain't getting a needle in me without it. It's weird though. I have a tattoo. I was fine with that.
Yeah, it's different though, isn't it?
It's different. I liked that.
So
it was a good buzz.
So small. So it's almost not. It's not like a hypodermic at all, even though it is. Yeah,
it's not even the pain of a hypodermic. It's literally, and they're like, "Don't look at it."
Yeah, I've accidentally stabbed myself a few times, and that fucking hurts. So yeah, I can only imagine what it's like.
Do you do needles often? This is a safe space.
On a cuddle.
Yeah. I'm on the methadone, so
I'll get my little violin out.
We actually have one. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, he gets this out whenever I don't know, say something that he doesn't deem a sad enough story.
Thanks, Crystal.
We get weird stuff sent to
I
us.
bought one off Temu recently, but I was going to bring it. I'm like, no, that would be really insensitive.
It's your own story, mate. If it is as sensitive as you want.
I'll play it to myself. It's fine. Brilliant. But yours has actually got a little case.
Yeah, it's actually like a proper little violin.
Did someone send that in?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Because he would always go, "Where's my violin?
Where's my little violin?"
So someone sent it in.
Yeah, someone actually bought him one, which is great.
You'd like the sad violin noise just when.
Just really lean into his bad jokes. Yeah.
My jokes are fantastic, all right?
So, where are we going next?
We were saying about the hypodermic after Victoria was in the car crash.
Well, let's talk about the car crash.
I mean, wherever you want to go, man. I'm just...
It gets more fucked up, yeah. Let's go down the rabbit hole. So we went on another holiday. Not quite as impressive as holiday 1. It was Pontins in Breen.
Not too far from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like a concentration camp.
It was bad then. Apparently, it's still open. I think they just might have gone under this.
I think they went bust. I don't. You know what? I honestly.
We're talking very recently. I think they've gone bust.
Yeah,
but up until like, when's this podcast going out? January.
Yeah.
If they get their act together.
We do one a week, baby. Ride or die.
So I'll see you in March, guys.
This guy.
So I'm not going to be allowed back, am I?
Mate, you're welcome anytime.
Part 3. Return of the chair.
Yeah, we're taking you to Pontins.
Oh.
Cruel.
It would be. That's worse than, like, I'd rather go back to Eunice than fucking go to Pontins again. They call that food? Fucking hell, I'll go back to my potato cake. So we went to Pontins. It was a horrific holiday. We'd gone up in multiple cars, and I'd had a fight with my little brother because he was getting everything I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I might have chucked him into the sea. He deserved it.
Yeah.
He was so tiny as well. He was so chuckable. It was great.
So chuckable.
Yeet.
Yeah, literally that. Literally yoink. But it was like kicking a puppy. The noise. Not that I've ever kicked a puppy. But we go to this holiday. it was a shit holiday. It was the worst holiday ever, and we weren't abused, but we were very much second class citizens to what else what Eunice and her favourites were doing. On the way back, we separated into two cars. So we were in what did we have at the time? A Ford Ecoline, big American
box van.
Yeah. But I had a V8. It was nice. We went in the front, and then Judith, Charlotte, Victoria, and Caleb were in a Bedford Rascal.
Oh,
The sooty van.
that's like chalk and cheese there.
Yeah. It was awful. It was a little blue thing, but they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So they did a long trip in that from Cheltenham to that.
Yeah, that's quite a way. Yeah, it's in a Bedford Rascal.
Tiny little engine screaming its tits off.
Yeah. That's for anyone who doesn't know the Bedford Rascal van. Think of a smart car, just slightly bigger.
Kind of like a little K car almost, didn't it?
Yeah. They were. I kind of want to drive one now.
Yeah, there's not many left.
yeah, they've all been crashed.
That's it. They rolled over or they rotted.
So we were in the big, nice van ahead, and we hit traffic, and massive traffic jam. We got home, and we were kind of expecting them to come in like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes behind. An hour goes past, and Eunice is like, I'm going to ring them. So this is early days of mobile phones. Think Matrix slip phone, or 3310s.
Yeah,
3310. I get hard thinking of that.
Wonder why the table came up a little bit.
That's not the handbrake. And yeah, they ring the phone, just rings out, keeps ringing out. Eventually, just stops ringing at all. And we're like, this is fucking weird. Like, they always answer the phone. 3 hours go by. I'm like, this traffic jam must be really bad. And then a police car pulls into the cul-de-sac where Eunice's parents lived. And she went white as a ghost. And I worked it out straight away. Car accident. Got to be a car accident. And my sister's like, oh, it's a police car. Like, yeah, that's not good.
Never a good sign.
And it was a Vauxhall Amiga, so it's a traffic car. So in my head, I'm like, traffic accident. And they get out. They were fully uniformed, and they took their hats off as they walked up to the house. And like, I didn't know much about police and stuff, but I knew I'd worked it out in my head. This is not going to be good. I didn't think death, but I thought this is
serious accident.
Yeah. They were in the house for 5 minutes. We were outside playing, just out the way, and Eunice walked out straight past us, like blanked us totally, got in the police car and shot off. And next thing I know, some Jehovah's Witnesses arrived to look after us, and they took us to their home. A really lovely old couple who didn't know any of the abuse or anything. And that was weird because we went into this really nice house.
Just being treated like normal children.
Yeah.
Well, as normal gets
they
for
got some
Jehovah's,
toys out there. I'd have been, when was this? 2000. So I'd have been a fair few years old at this point. But they got these like Tonka toys out. I carried on playing with them.
Take what you can get.
But in my mind, I'm like, this is it's not going to be a good day tomorrow. And Eunice's other daughter, Becky, who has nothing to do with the abuse and things, moved away from Eunice as soon as she could, and actually testified against her in court.
Wow.
Yeah, Becky's amazing. We don't keep contact anymore. Reach out, Becky, if you hear this, because I'd love to speak to you. But, we've gone our separate ways over the years.
Yeah.
And she arrived and was like, I'm going to take you to the hospital. So we get in the car, Ford Fiesta ST. Nice. Good car. And we drive down to Frenchay, massive. It was a big boy hospital. It was where the most serious cases go at the time. And I'm laughing. I know something's happened, but I'm not expecting anything bad. We arrive at the hospital, walk in, and Eunice is there with Caleb in a bed. And Caleb has got wires going all over him. And
how's he at this point?
He'd have been,
roughly?
So I'd have been 12. He'd have been 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about 4 years younger than me, mentally. No, he's about 4 years younger than me, and he was in and out of consciousness a bit. I think he'd broken both his legs really badly, so they'd pinned it.
Yeah.
And I took one look at the legs and nearly puked. It was like, I'm not good with that type of shit.
Yeah.
Looked like a Meccano set.
Yeah, with all the whole frame,
the external frames.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible. And then Eunice like, I need to talk to you too. So we walk to, there's like these little rooms where they give bad news.
I know that room. Yeah, that
Sorry,
sucks. That room fucking sucks.
It does.
You go in there, you see the flowers and the tissues, and you think, no good news ever gets told in this room.
And there's a smell. There's a vibe.
It's just got this energy, and it's just all off.
But I still hadn't got the grasp of it, and I sat down. And I will never forget this. She just looked us straight in the face, me and Aloma.
This is Eunice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just looked us straight in the face and went, Charlotte and Judith are dead, and it should have been you. And then walked out. She had to brush past us to walk out.
Just walked through you like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Just left you with that.
Yeah. Now, technically, I should have been in the car.
In the car that crashed?
Yeah. And I'd have been sat where Charlotte was sat. So part of me gets why she was angry.
You don't.
But also, we were meant to be one of her kids. Like,
you don't say that to children.
And also, you've just been blamed, and two, these are our siblings. Yeah, don't get me wrong, they were
a different childhood to you. But
yes, but still, this was devastating. And then I went back to see Caleb, who was kind of being brought round. Who the first thing he did was like, do you want to hear a fart? Caleb's like me without filters. It's terrifying. And it was great to see him alive, because suddenly it was all like, how the fuck are you alive? And it turned out they'd got airlifted. Charlotte and Judith had both been decapitated.
Oh my God.
Victoria, I went to see Victoria a couple hours later. Eunice wouldn't bother with her. She just wanted to sit next to Caleb. Victoria had broken spine, pelvis, legs, part of her upper neck. Victoria shouldn't have been alive. And Jehovah's Witnesses are against blood transfusions.
Yeah.
It was one of the first cases in England where the doctor overruled that.
Yeah.
What?
Because when an accident like this happens, the Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't know if it's still the same now. Don't quote me on that.
A hospital
liaison team. Yeah. And they arrive and straight away, read the rights, and the doctor's like, I'm going to lose her on the table. I only heard about this afterwards. I didn't see any of this. But, and they tried giving her, I think it's a plasma.
Yeah.
And she'd lost so much blood. She'd lost 50% of her blood. 50%. Like, they had to transfuse. There was...
Yeah. You got no other option.
They did. And...
Well, they just straight up were like, fuck you, we're doing it. Like,
I think they said they misheard.
They misheard the word no. Legends. What fucking legends.
And then at that point, Eunice was crazy mad and was calling her unclean. And this is a girl who spent, I think it was 11 weeks in ICU. 11 weeks. Like, shouldn't have survived. Shouldn't. So,
and Eunice is berating her for a decision that she didn't even make.
Yeah, she wasn't awake for 3 weeks, for fuck's sake. Yeah, she had pipes down her throat. I will never forget the noise of all those pumps going.
Mm.
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
I still hate it now, and you probably...
I know it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know exactly. The noise is fucking... Yeah.
It's vile. It's vile. And... It's horrible. And for her to be calling that person unclean. This is meant to be your daughter.
It goes past all sense and rationality, but none of this is like I don't know why every little bit is shocking me even more, but because none of it is sense. No, there's no sense to any of it, and there's no rationality to any of it. But it just continues to just. I don't know.
For me, it's those the abuse is by the by, like the physical abuse, like doesn't really bother me. Even now, I look back and go, that wasn't that bad. Everyone's like, you what? But it's those weird little life choices she made, like
where it just all things from every person would make you just be like, I'm so happy you're here,
yeah.
or thank God, or but no, still, even in the face of all that, it's fuck you.
Yeah,
not obviously, but that attitude of just.
And there's some very weird footage of Eunice online, because the press were quite interested in this. What had happened, I didn't really explain.
They're interested in the car crash, or
in the car crash and how these people survived.
Yeah,
and Eunice saw a chance to make some money off this, which we'll get into in a minute. Of course she did.
How did the car crash happen?
Yeah. So they were in a little city Bedford Rascal van, and they were stopping in the traffic jam we were in, and a lorry driver was changing his radio above.
Oh shit!
And hit them at 56 miles an hour, flat out,
and just
pushed them under another lorry.
Oh my God!
So the vehicle was 2.5 feet long by the time it finished.
And the fact that 2 people came out of that,
it's
like mind blowing.
Yeah, like I don't know how. Like, if there were a couple of things going for them. Caleb was in a child seat, but she treated him like a toddler.
Acted like a little cocoon, I guess.
So everything that was in the seat was safe. He had a split collarbone from the shake, I guess, and the legs were out of the car seat.
Yeah,
but that car seat saved his life, because they had to unfold him. He can't remember any of this.
No.
And it's thank fuck. Like,
God, yeah.
Victoria remembered everything, because she had the heads in her lap. Yeah. Victoria went through hell. And yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't see any of this, but I can imagine it. And that's bad enough.
Yeah, just the thought of it.
And she'd have been bleeding out. They were lucky that 2 air ambulances were doing training in the area.
Oh, so right there.
They were there within minutes, and they've got their heart teams, I think they're called, who come out and how they kept them alive. And there's some very good photos which some people took of both these helicopters landing on the motorway and just getting them out and going. Like, and Frenchay's not far. This happened, do you know Avonmouth Bridge?
Yeah.
Just before that.
Oh, God.
So if you're driving from Devon that way. So, yeah. There's a tree there. Eunice went and planted a tree, and it's still there now. This big silver birch just before Avonmouth Bridge. And one of the jobs I did a couple of years ago, I had to drive that road pretty much every day. And seeing this tree every time
throw you right off.
Yeah. The amount of times I've nearly crashed into the fucking bridge. Which would be really ironic, wouldn't it? Like, I'm coming back.
How did this happen? Well, it all started.
You're joking. Not another one?
Oh, no. You enjoyed that, didn't you? You feel bad about it, don't you?
Bit, yeah.
He had to.
It's the law. It's got to be done. Can you imagine crashing at the same spot? That would be really fucking bad.
The irony isn't the word.
Yeah. It has nearly happened. I have drifted off the lane a couple of times because I look out for this tree.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
So, yeah, don't recommend it. So, Eunice saw a chance for money.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah.
So, she kind of put out the feelers that Victoria needed some toys and stuff. So, loads of local companies donated toys and donations, vouchers, and all sorts of good stuff. I remember a collection of Furbies arrived. That was the big bougie toy at the time.
Yeah, that would have been about right, wouldn't it?
I got a Furby recently. Weird fucking things.
Awful creatures.
I love you.
That's it. That's exactly it. God, I remember those little things.
It wouldn't shut up the other night. It just
that was the spookiest thing as a kid.
Yeah,
It'd just kick off in the middle of the night. You'd be like, "What is happening?" I
swore I'd blocked the batteries. And then to hear it suddenly, like, on the hello,
horrible things.
Yeah, nearly shot it.
Little cameras in and all.
Yeah, absolutely. People accused them of weird shit, didn't they?
What, China or Furbies?
Let's go Furbies.
For the sake of diplomatic relations,
Yes.
Furbies.
But so yeah, that car accident happened, and this is kind of where it gets really fucked up.
Oh, and it wasn't before?
Oh no, it was a lightweight story. Eunice decided to deny Victoria treatment for a lot of her injuries. And this would come out later on a bit more. So let's go for the arrests. So Aloma moved out.
Yeah.
Well, I say she moved out. She got dumped in the middle of Bristol with £100 and a week's women's refuge paid for.
By
Eunice,
this was when she was of age to leave,
and was starting to cause issues. One, she'd fallen in love with a farmhand on a farm near, and that farmhand started to get interested.
Oh, and
in what's going on, right?
Yeah, it was easier to just go, you know what, fucking leave, than for him to get involved and be like.
I think she thought actually she's being indoctrinated, she's been brainwashed enough that she's not going to go and talk about this, and actually will be picked up by the system. And but and she was, she didn't report it herself. And a couple of years went by. Victoria's in a wheelchair at this point, living on the farm, living in that mobile home.
In a wheelchair?
She would wheel up to the door and bum shuffle out into a mattress, and that would be her life. And she lost her stomach. She had a bag. It was insanitary. It was disgusting. She shouldn't have been living there. She should have been probably had care.
Yeah.
But we still expected to do farming. We were still expected to, she had to look after Caleb. She was Caleb's nanny. So, all while in a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair.
Ridiculous. Anyway, a couple of years go past, and I actually move out as well. I know, bougie. I didn't have the best move out. Eunice's parents were getting very elderly at this point, and her dad had really bad Parkinson's.
Right.
So couldn't move, and he was a big man, a veteran, tank driver, World War II.
Wow.
Yeah. Then was a tank gunner for a bit, so had some amazing stories.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And he was quite a nasty man, but I had a respect for him.
Yeah.
And he didn't know all this was going on.
Do you think that was from the war?
I think so, yeah. I think
probably seen some fucking shit.
I can imagine. I think he served in Korea as well.
Oh, God.
Which was even worse in some ways.
It's not a nice war.
So, don't quote me on the Korea. I know he definitely did. He did D-Day.
No, he was out in France, I expect.
Yeah. So, he was on a Sherman out there. So, but I think he said he did Korea. I'll have to check that one day, actually. I'd like to look at the history of that.
Yeah.
But I had a massive respect for him, and I was his carer. I would have to lift him out of bed, and he was a big guy. And I'd have to put his catheter on. You could tell he was not a happy man having all this done. It's humiliating, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I'd help him shower and stuff, and we had this wicked sense of humor with each other, but you could tell it was killing him. And so I'd moved out. And
were you far from? How far away from me from the farm?
We were from the farm 4 miles,
right,
from the other Chixby house that Eunice had moved back into for a while, because the farmhouse needed a lot more structural work.
Right.
She'd let kids build it.
That's so fucking appropriate.
The footings were a little bit wanky.
Well, it turns out I'm not really good at roofing.
Because she'd let kids build it.
Well, okay, so
What sort of age were you at this point?
So when this is about 15, 16. Yeah.
When you're looking after her foot. Sorry.
Yeah. 16-ish. 16-ish. Yeah. And we're coming to the end now. Sorry, mate.
No. Trust me, I'm not fucking bored, Chris.
We'll get some more Red Bull out in a minute. All right? We'll get some Red Bull. He's just seeing his Land Rover bill. So,
Mama, no.
no, couldn't. So yeah, I was living with them, and yeah, don't let kids build farmhouses because we did a loft conversion, and it turns out we had to cut some easels out in the middle and stuff to make way. This was going to be so imagine this big Georgian farmhouse. This was going to be his playroom at the top, Caleb's.
Yeah.
The whole of the farm.
That's a big...
It was massive.
Yeah, so we got trusses out of the roof and wondered why the roof started falling in.
Yes.
Is that literally what happened?
Oh, it didn't quite fall in, but it bowed.
Oh, in the middle, like
yeah.
When you see those old houses and the roof's bowed in the middle. Yeah, because
so
you cut 90% of the structure out.
Well, I just went through with a basically demolition thought. I didn't understand how.
Obviously,
that wasn't in the 1984 bloody Britannica series. I didn't know.
Oddly enough, not have much of an education, let alone any building qualifications.
And she'd gone over it as well. Yeah, it was half her fault. Anyway, so
it's like carry on.
Yeah.
if we can find some humour in this,
one of the wings of the building wasn't very happy with the roof. Yeah, it was bowing in a little bit. So she had to move to the Tripsby house while she actually got some people in to fix it. So
builders.
Oh yeah, builders. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
We should have to do this, kids.
Oh shit!
It's a fucking cowboy spinning here, mind.
This looks like it's been done by a 14-year-old. Awkward. So yeah, she moved back to the Tripsby house. Now, I didn't know this was all going on, but Victoria was going back to church. She wanted to find God. And sorry, I shouldn't joke. Victoria's gone back to church. She wanted to find God. And a few ladies within that church and a couple of elders had enough of keeping quiet.
So they
knew something was going on.
Yeah. She's coming in with more bruises. She's coming in because Eunice, while I was away, was beating on her horrifically. So I'd moved out up the road and she was just getting the shit beaten out of her, and she can't defend herself. She's in a wheelchair. So she's still going to church, and Eunice is happy about this. I don't know why. She dropped the ball there.
I'm going to say, after all this time of being so fucking on it and just...
Yeah, she dropped the ball. Anyway, these people corner Victoria, and we're not saying no to this. You've got to tell us what's going on. And Victoria's like, no, nothing's going on. So they decided to take her for a drive in the countryside.
Mm.
And they actually took her to a safe house. A Jehovah's Witnesses friend owned a rental. So it was in the middle of nowhere. Eunice didn't know it. None of the other witnesses knew it. Middle of nowhere. A safe house almost. And then they're like, you've got to tell us. And Victoria broke down and told them everything. Now, at this point, if we're following the rules, we should put that in a little box.
And give it to God and he'll judge you all when the fire and brimstone...
They decided to call the police.
What fucking legends.
Yeah. And I know they've had a lot of shit from it.
Fuck them.
And they do... I've seen
the people that... No.
I've seen them quite often recently, and they will cross the road on me, but we nod. And for me, that's a win.
Yes.
That's a win. But they did their bit, and they called the police and released Mini Hitler. This one police officer called Victoria, who is the scariest woman you'll ever meet in your life. We call her Pink Cardigan because that's all she ever wore.
The person you want on your side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one person who's going to go toe to toe with Eunice and the investigation.
That's exactly what you need.
They needed someone as nasty as... No, I'm joking, Victoria. Sorry. Oh, Jesus. She's going to kill me. Probably will. Yeah. Leave the firearms alone. Yeah. So they launched Victoria Martel. Amazing police officer, and she did incredible work. I didn't know any of this was going on. The police are starting their investigation. They've whisked Victoria away, sent her to hospital.
But basically took one look at her and gone,
you need to be in like almost permanent care to get better. And I'm just living my dream. Now, I knew something was going on because Eunice would come to the parents' house each night and she was phased. You know, something was not right.
You could tell something was off. She was
but I had no idea.
She's like preoccupied with something.
And then one day I have a really bad argument with her parents. I'm like, fuck it, I'm running away. And join the circuit. No, I'm joking.
Join the French Foreign Legion.
Damn you, French. So I decided to walk into Tewkesbury. I didn't know this caused a catastrophic amount of trouble for the police. They were about to launching arrests.
Oh, yeah, God.
So I'm running away. And then I come across this old butcher's bike outside of Butcher's. And we're talking handlebars like this.
Yeah, big basket on the front.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm having that. I've never stolen anything like that.
I'm having a bike shag.
Like, fucking riding along like this. I felt like a pimp. I was the coolest fucking person ever until I broke the chain. So I scooted it along. This must have looked such a twat. Anyway, those same Jehovah's Witnesses who were out, who helped Victoria, are suddenly driving around looking for me. I don't know how that happened, but they pull over in front of me. They didn't have much, I wasn't going to run on the butcher's bike, was I? And they're like,
she ran out of steam.
They're like, Chris, get in. And I'm like, hey guys, they're like, we need to go for breakfast. Let's go have a chat. They're asking loads of deep questions when we're over this breakfast. This is the first big breakfast I've had in ages, but I think it started a catastrophic chain of events.
For a man that's barely been fed his whole life, they offer you a breakfast. You've taken a breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was paid for by the church, even better.
Yeah.
And they're questioning me. It's getting really deep questions. So I'm like, what the
where's this coming from?
Yeah. Anyway, they're like, we're going to take you back home. Not home to Eunice's, to her parents.
Yeah.
And they're like, the police are going to want to come and talk to you because you're missing. I didn't think too much of it.
No.
Police are right. Eunice had this panicked phone call straight away. Do not let Chris talk to them. Do not let Chris talk to them. Wait until I'm there.
Oh, that's what. Eunice had rang the
Eunice
parents.
rang the parents.
Yes.
And so, anyway, police got there pronto, and they're like looking me up and down, like looking over my arms and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't crash the bike. Oh yeah, we just got to be sure you're okay. And and what I didn't realise is, of course, they were gathering evidence to get the warrants all done, and then 2 days later, of course, the arrest.
What year was this, roughly?
I know.
More for my sake.
2005-ish. 2000,
right. Okay, yeah.
2005 or 2006. I can't even remember dates now. And yeah, 2 days later, 6 a.m. Fucking 6 a.m.
A bit early.
It is a bit early. So I had this massive afro because Eunice never took us for haircuts. And I'm talking, I look like Sideshow Bob. It was fucking huge. And bang, bang, bang on the door. And,
bleary-eyed.
Very bleary-eyed. Because I found the adult entertainment channels.
A whole new world had opened up.
Babe Station. Let's go.
They had
10-minute preview.
They had cable.
Oh.
And I'd come across this a couple of nights before, and my God, wasn't it incredible? And when they went to bed, I'd sit in the living room, fucking just
look, furiously
masturbating.
So I'd get to bed at like 5 a.m. and then an hour later, these cunts come and disturb me. So I open the door, and they're like, "Chris," and I'm like, "Your mum's been arrested. You need to come with us." I'm like, "Not today," and close the door. Went back to bed. At this point, they made it very clear.
No, you are coming with us.
And they're just this.
I love how the police are coming at your door like Jehovah's Witnesses were. It's all cyclical.
Have you got a moment to talk about the Lord Jesus Christ?
Have you got a moment to come down to the station, Chris?
This time, big copper arm on me. I'm like, oh, we're going, are we?
Oh, it wasn't a request.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got taken out, and I got put in a social services car, and my little brother was in there. I haven't seen him in months because Eunice was trying to keep us all a bit separate. And I'm like, hey, bro, hey, yeah, what the fuck's going on? Like, he's like, there was a helicopter. They had helicopters up and all sorts, like, because we had multiple properties. We had a boat. We had the.
Oh, so they're keeping an eye on everything to make.
And also a property in Florida apparently as well. So yeah.
Oh God.
So there were raids like on 3 properties in the UK, and then something was going on stateside as well.
Okay, now.
So we are whisked away to the police station. Am I going too much detail? By the way?
No. More the better, man.
Okay, keep going. We're whisked away, firstly to Tesco's because I had no clean clothes. So I must have looked like something from a bloody refugee camp walking through Tesco. And I had really...
For just £3 a month?
You can help Chris get clothes. I don't know why I sounded like a ghost then. So yeah, we got taken. I had a new outfit paid for. That was my first new outfit probably since Florida. Yeah.
God.
So had some new clothes, and we got taken to the police station. And I don't know if you've ever seen a family protection suite.
No.
Okay, so it looks like a living room. And there's a box of tissues.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it in
couple of sofas.
I think I've seen
and then a fucking BBC camera up on the wall.
I think I've seen it from like interview footage. Yeah.
So this was before they had nice little digital cameras, like you guys should get.
Listeners would be like, fine, right.
So they had this fucking huge camera on the wall, which there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing at all.
And then the scariest copper in the world walks in, like Victoria Martell, who's like a ghost. No, I'm joking. She's gonna kill me. She's literally gonna kill me. She's lovely, scary, lovely. And we start the interview, and I said, "They're like, has Eunice ever slapped you?" No, because we'd always been told, protect home. Protect, and this is what Jehovah's Witnesses do as well. Armageddon's going to come.
All got to stick together.
Yeah. So I lied perfectly. Like, oh no, she slapped me on the leg a couple of times. And this went on for 2 hours. I was getting really tired at this point as well, keeping this up. And they're like, okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to go for a little drive to the hospital. So I thought nothing of it. And I'm taken to the children's ward. And walking through these corridors, and they're like, just pop in this room and open the door, and there's Victoria in a bed. And this is Victoria, who's in a wheelchair, who has gone through everything. Anyway, she stands up and walks to me. And at that point, my world collapsed. Everything I knew, kind of just went there in my head. This person shouldn't have been walking. It turns out Eunice had stopped her getting the treatment that could have made her walk because she was putting in for a massive couple of £1 million claim from insurance. And she managed to pay each doctor off to help. And she'd got the first payment as well out of it.
No way.
Probably a couple $100,000.
And by basically making things worse than they were and preventing Victoria from getting the help that she needed, just to exacerbate and make the case look worse than it was.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrendous enough, but you need more.
To deny someone their rights to walking and stuff, just fundamental normal stuff. At this point, I ran out of the room. I smashed through corridors, and you can hear these little heels of this social worker trying to keep up with me. Yeah. I was quick, man. I was flighty, like a meerkat, and shot. Anyway, at one point, I just stopped on the side of the corridor, tears coming out, and a nurse stopped. And, are you okay? Yeah. And then a police officer caught up with me. Social worker was nowhere to be seen at that point.
I'm just getting.
She's still coming.
Sorry to chat. Have you heard the remember King Curtis, the chicken nugget kid from Wife Swap? No. He's like, I'm leaving, and you can't stop me. you can't run in them little high heels.
It was basically that. Yeah. It was basically that. And yeah, he was just like, you've had a shit day, haven't you? I'm like, yeah.
He's like,
he's like, do you want to come do another interview? Anyway,
straight while he owns hot.
You're joking. Not another one?
Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway, I went and did the interview. I didn't tell them everything, but I agreed with a lot they were saying.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into detail because I thought actually, in my head, I'm like, I need to get out of this whole situation. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to do anything. How can I get out of this? And my way was just tell them as much as you can and get out.
Just agree with, yeah.
Yeah. But then, of course, we arrive in modern foster care, and we were put in like a specialist home that night with experienced foster carers who are used to it. They weren't ready for us.
Experienced, right? Okay.
They had chair legs that detached. They weren't ready for us. Yeah, we were gone within like a week.
Really?
Yeah, that's too fucked up.
Tap out.
We went through quite a few foster homes of experts. They weren't ready. Yeah, that was a mad few. And all this time we're going through multiple police interviews, going into more and more details, doctors, coroners. I'd never had jabs.
No vaccinations.
No vaccinations, so that was fun, wasn't it? Fucking
needles,
yeah, that was interesting. A fat guy sat on me to get that in. Literally sat on me on the floor, and they did the injections like a pincushion. There was so much we'd missed out on, like dental care. Like, my teeth are still fucked. I hate dentists with a passion. Some of my best friends are dentists as well.
At least you get done cheap.
Yeah. I always say nasty things about them on Instagram, and then they'll like it. And like, oh no, I'm sorry.
It wasn't directed at you. Sorry, mate.
I literally the other day on the podcast, I said I likened dentists to small animal vets. I think they're all thieves in white coats, and I was like, I know that, like, I can't remember his name.
I know dentists and small animal vets.
Yeah, and there's a chap that listens to the podcast, and his mum is my old man's hygienist, and I feel really bad for that now. So I'm like, sorry,
backtrack.
Maybe that was a little bit harsh.
Kesh and Jen, I love you really, but you chose the wrong career. You
fucking thief.
Yeah, my teeth are fucked. Like, I've been to dentists recently, and they've had to pull bits of wood out of my jawline.
From
chair legs, yeah, and bamboo poles to stop us screaming.
It's been in there that long.
Yeah. So I had surgery a couple of years ago to remove my wisdom teeth because I had this big growth growing behind it, and it was a small triangle of metal, like probably we're talking, a tiny, a minute triangle. And it turned out it was the tip of a knife she'd put into her jaw.
Why?
It was that, and she'd pushed it in so far.
Why?
Well, because you're not going to fight when there's a knife in your mouth, are you? But she'd pushed it in that much. Can
you remember what she was trying to do when she had a knife? I
can't even remember that, to be honest. I can't even remember that.
But it was there, and that's evidence.
Yeah.
But this has all happened years after the court cases.
I mean, evidence of, like, for yourself of the abuse. Yeah.
That was a very weird conversation with the doctor. He's like, you have a triangle in your mouth.
And you're like,
no, it's a symbol.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah. But that was a very weird conversation. But that was growing in my mouth, so that would have.
It was like festering. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have broken my jaw, hence why we had to deal with it. So it was putting a lot of pressure down there. So that was really annoying. I just got into triathlon. I know it doesn't look it. And you really don't want to see me in a wetsuit. But I'd won, in our local triathlon club, I'd won Swimmer of the Year or Most Improved Swimmer. I don't know how, because I swim like a fucking...
Was there only like one person?
There was one person in that lane, yeah. I swim like a drowning Labrador. So I went into hospital. Of course, had an allergic reaction to anaesthetic, so I ended up with days in there. I come on out, and I'm like, you really need to come to this award ceremony. And I won this big award. And I couldn't move my mouth because What are these rubber bands holding my mouth together? And all the pictures of that night are just like...
Just, you're girding off your gourd on pingers.
So, yeah, that was a really bad night to do that. Like, you've got to come. I don't want to come to some fucking... Like,
award ceremony.
You have to come because they knew I'd won. I just remember trying to fit a cocktail sausage in. And it just got stuck on. I looked like Popeye with a fucking cigarette. I was quite good. So yeah, the arrests happened, and eventually we get around to going to court. Now, I said there's a bit of an Irish link to my story earlier.
Is this what I think it's going to be?
I don't know. What do you think it's going to be?
Is it when you were assaulted?
Yeah. So I got the shit beaten out of me coming out of work because I wouldn't drop my charges. Now, we don't quite know who did it, but we're guessing it's Eunice.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know what anyone else would have to gain.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will about the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not sure they're into, like, mafia-style enforcement.
I literally had the shit beaten out of me.
Just, like, what was it, like 2 guys? Or
3 guys just literally kicking the shit out of me. Literally, as I came out of work, got jumped.
What? You literally...
Hit in the stomach with a cricket, I think it was a baseball bat, straight in the stomach, and then punched the fuck. I was going to have them. Until they got the bat out. I had it.
You're on the ground like, this ain't fucking
yeah.
Another one.
Shattered my arm. Anyway, I was due to go to a gaming night at a mate's house. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to the hospital and get this all wrapped up. And I went back to the foster home and they're like, what the fuck has happened? I'm like, I just had the shit beaten out of me anyway. I'm off. I'm off to Rob's house.
so blasé about this.
Anyway, this must have fed back to the police because they're like, where the fuck are you? I'm like,
sorry, mate.
I'm at a LAN party, dickhead.
I'm on Ghost Recon. Leave me alone. Anyway, eventually the search party went out and found me at this mate's house.
It must have been like, this fucking
and
guy.
Like, we need a statement. I'm like, I'm fucking playing Ghost Recon. Yeah, I wasn't a cool cucumber. I wasn't a cool customer. So yeah. That was a pretty nasty. I know they're Irish. That's all I know.
Well, because they say drop the fucking charges.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Were they balaclavaed up or?
They weren't balaclavaed up, but I didn't recognise them all. It was I worked for Homebase. Oh yeah.
Nice.
No security or cameras?
Well, no, the store was closed. I'd done the close with.
Oh, you turned the external security cameras off, or were there no?
I think it was court because it got mentioned in court. So I was never, because someone at work testified against it. A guy called Tim. Tim, if you're listening, reach out, man. I haven't seen you in years. He testified in court. I didn't know this for like years until I read the reports that he'd seen these people at some point or something. So, yeah, I had the shit beaten out of me. Don't recommend it. 2 out of 5.
They never caught the guys. No.
I know later on who they were.
Really?
Yeah, I know later on who they were because they apologized for it. So they were part of her family out there, and I have to be careful how I word this.
No, it's fine, mate. You whatever you want to say.
It was under the assumption that we were lying about our wonderful mother.
Oh,
and they were like, "Well, these little fucking shits!" Like,
they're just trying to ruin this poor woman's life by making up all this bollocks.
It was only when the court case came out and all the evidence,
and they were like,
shown. "Oh, fuck." So when there was some horse racing on in Cheltenham, I was a bar manager at the time. I'd moved on from Homebase, up in the world, and
you've had a crazy, not only a crazy life pre-workforce, like during the workforce, you're like Homebase, bar manager.
I've had some great jobs, they all came in.
And you recognised them?
Yeah, and they recognised me. God. And they were like, after bars closed, let's all have a chat.
Like you're thinking, oh my God.
I'm going to get shot, aren't I?
You're joking. Not another
one! And they were like, they apologised. And
really?
now every time the racing's on, I meet up with them. and we keep in contact. Like,
That's so weird.
It's so fucking weird. I'm actually shit scared of them. No, they are lovely. They are lovely.
So do you know for you obviously had a chat with them? No, like
it wasn't them directly, but they knew how it had been done.
Right? Yeah. No, I don't want to ask any more questions, mate.
They'd known too much for it to.
Yeah.
For them not to have been involved.
Yeah, and it had come from Eunice.
Yeah.
So I think she got charged for it in the end.
Really?
Yeah. Witness intimidation. So it didn't work because she was caught outside my work at one point trying to come in and ask me to do it.
What, to drop the charges?
Yeah. And
yeah, you can't do that.
Because there were strict orders in place, you know. And and I think I think people at work, because they knew what was going on, the story and stuff, and they were quite protective of me. I don't know why. I was an asshole.
But he's our asshole.
Yeah, he's our asshole.
We will protect him.
And they called the police, and I think they must have had the number for Pink Cardigan, because whenever anything happened, she was there within like an hour.
Well, it's her case.
Yeah.
This is like obviously a
it was
big,
just a high
fucking
profile.
case.
I think it's probably the largest non-death child abuse case that's gone through the system.
Really?
Yeah. Apart from maybe the children's homes, but the physical abuse, this is one of the only ones that's ever gone through. So yeah, it was a big case. I think, I think we made her career. I'm sorry, Victor. Sorry.
Man, I'm trying to maintain a firearms license, okay? Chill.
Sorry.
I'm only messing with you.
Yeah, but she's going to kill me.
I'm going to say it's you, not me. I'm just the platform.
We can edit that bit out, can't we? Like,
you do what you want, boo.
Can we edit the whole Victoria bit out? Yeah, Victoria Martel, lovely. You're good. Please don't arrest me. But yeah, we came out, of course, to the court cases. That's hard, man. That's really hard because
that's the point where you have to stand up and look her in the eye in court.
Yeah, well, we weren't meant to look her in the eye. We were meant to have this lovely little curtain protecting us.
Oh, this is a tale as old as time, isn't it? Where they promised the earth and then things happen, things change. Oh, there was an accident.
That doesn't sound like the fucking government at all.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, we meant to do this thing. Oh no, sorry. Well, it's happening today, and we haven't made any of those arrangements. So, best of luck.
It was kind of like that. So we'll build up to the court. This is like, we blacked out car. The press, a lot of press interest.
Is this is this like a year from like her getting arrested? Year, 18 months, something like that?
It's about 18 months.
Yeah, it's a big case. Takes a fucking long time.
It was a good year's investigation.
Do you have any idea what she's doing in this time? Where obviously all the kids are.
So up until
she obviously bailed out on arrest.
She was bailed out, and then I think she tried to contact me, so got
recalled.
Recalled for that.
Yeah.
And I know this because recently a lady, we'll call her Susan. Hi, Susan. She contacted me recently and said she was in the cell next to her.
What?
Yeah. And she was
had a fucking price on her head.
Well, no, because she told everyone she was in for tax avoidance, and everyone believed little old
Eunice.
Yeah. Fuck. And it wasn't until it went viral because
it's such a massive case.
Yeah, and that she had the shit beaten out of her.
Oh, they don't take kindly to child abusers.
No. I think she got put in solitary after that.
Yeah, child abuse and rapists. No, neither of those two things fly in jail.
Especially women. Like,
I was reading something back.
It's not something I've ever even fucking thought of.
I listened to a watch.
Women?
No,
Women's. Usually, like the child abuse is done by the fucking males, isn't it?
It's rarer for a woman to be trialed for it.
Yeah,
what I was reading was like a woman's prison is anyone that's been a prison guard is basically like I would much rather be in a man's prison than a women's prison. Apparently, that shit is fucking nuts. But
the concentration here, I'm pouring a pint. Guys.
That was a top pour as well.
Thank you.
Decent. You got any flakes behind there? Or?
Oh, shut up! It's a perfect amount. It's a perfect amount of hair.
That is a centimetre and a half.
Yeah.
That is,
Bang on. Bar manager over here. Marla.
Perfect amount of head.
So
there's a reason I'm still not a bar manager as well. I poured some shit pints.
So obviously you guys, it's like the time of the court,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Don't worry, we've got all these arrangements in place."
Well, also, part of me wanted to just put this all to bed and get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Move
a
on.
long
Next chapter.
time in the work, and and it's got this thing's looming over you.
It's kind of stopping me. I was kind of falling in love with this girl.
Sounds a bit nefarious. That.
It was awful. And this was stopping everything. I was being moved around. I was, I was heavily controlled of what I could do, so not to ruin the court case. So I
Just
thought,
wanted to get it done, finished.
Well, I thought actually, I read this thing online, and actually, if I got a criminal record, I might not be.
It'd be thrown. You could not be a witness or whatever.
Yeah,
Credible witness.
I might not be a credible witness. In a case this important, I might get dropped.
Oh, fuck.
So my foster carers had this lovely little Renault Clio.
I was going to say, did you steal another bike?
I upgraded. Well, I'm saying that was a 1.2 Clio. It wasn't much of an upgrade.
No.
I'd rather have the bike.
Probably faster.
Yeah, it was awful, that car. I think they've still got it. This Clio was up until like
Old 96 3-door light.
yeah, it was literally like
1.2 in gold.
It was in gold, but in maroon. That horrible Renault maroon.
Oh yes.
But anyway, up until I drove around there like a few years ago, and this car was still there. And it was immaculate. I was like, what the fuck? You will die. Anyway, so I thought, let's get a criminal record. So I'm like, I need to go out and have a drive. Now they'd very kindly let me drive this car and learn to driving it. So I was abusing this a little bit. But I'm like,
did you have your license or
No,
not?
no. I only had a professional.
Right.
So I got in the car, drove it, and then started feeling a bit guilty. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. Like, these are my foster parents that I'm doing this. So I topped up the screen wash, cleaned the engine bay out. I manicured this car, waxed it. I spent about 3 hours looking after the car and then parked it back on the drive. Of course, it did get reported.
Yeah.
And the police are like, because one of my foster carer's friends was like, oh, did Chris pass his license?
Oh.
Because
no.
I'd have got away with it, like 100%.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get away with it.
That was the whole point. Yeah.
But I also didn't. I felt really bad. But, hey, did Chris pass his license? Because I just seen him out driving. You what? Anyway, they go outside and there's this gleaming car, like looking
like,
better than new.
Just went down to clean it.
Anyway, police, everything gets involved, and they're like, "Do you want to press charges?" They're like, "No, he's done a good job." Also, they knew they'd clocked on to what I was doing, and they're like, "Nah, the best way to get you back is by putting you in." So I tried to get drunk and disorderly, but I just fell asleep on a bench.
A man after my own heart.
I'm like, I'll go out and like pretend to start a fight or something. I just fell asleep on a bench in Gloucester Park. I tried multiple things. All of them failed miserably. I'm not a criminal.
No, it turns out a life of crime, Chris, is not for you.
It was pathetic. So, court case comes up. I hadn't got myself out of it. And it's scary, man. You're coming up for this. It's almost like Judgment Day. And I thought of running away. I thought of leaving the country. They put a stop to that, didn't they? Passport. Boing.
Yeah.
Talking of passports, we didn't have passports to go to Florida. But
Again, another terrifying fact of Eunice.
And somehow we managed to make it to America through one of the toughest visa systems and everything without real passports.
That's mental.
Because she had none of our real IDs or anything. So we went to America on fake passports.
I suppose it gets to a point in the court where they're just like, we could prosecute for all this, but like we're gonna have to go back years and try and work.
It's not worth it.
No,
because it slows everything.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze at this point. They're like, look, we're gonna get her for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was properly controlled though. I was taken off work for a week beforehand. You know, it wanted me to be calm and
Rested,
sophisticated.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas actually I was listening to Marilyn Manson at this point and just like,
I'm not afraid.
literally that. And Firestarter by The Prodigy. That was the song I was listening to in my earbuds. I had earbuds before earbuds were cool. And listening to that on the way into court, that's how you go to court. But we took hours. So we arrive at court, Bristol Court. I'm taking in a car into the basement. I have to lay down in the back seat so the press don't get a photo. Because we were all anonymous at this point. None of our names had been out.
Oh, because
press were dying for photos.
Oh, because you're underage, aren't you?
Yeah.
Names can't be.
This is it.
Yeah.
But they still wanted photos.
Yeah, of
they
course.
blur it, but
Yeah, they want the photo.
Yeah.
The photo is
Yeah.
what goes on the front page.
I was
isn't
in a damn nice looking suit. So yeah,
I was looking flat.
I was looking very flat. I think it was a Paul Smith suit. It was nice. Someone, a good friend of mine who was quite well off, said, "You're going in style." Bought me this suit.
No suit.
Anyway, he bought it 2 sizes too small, I think, because fucking hell, it was,
Tighten
it
the
was nearly
arms.
popping, mate.
It was popping in the wrong way.
I looked hot as fuck. But so we arrive at court, and then we're waiting in the room, and like, you'll be going in 1 hour. 1 hour passes, nothing. You'll be going in 2 hours. It gets to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were meant to be in at 9. And then they come in and like, actually, being a problem, Eunice's dad's died on that day. So this is the person I looked after.
Yeah. It must have been crushing for you, man.
Yeah. So you've got the disappointment of not going into court.
You're all hyped.
I've got this piece ready in my head. I'm ready. Like I'm going to fire start the whole fucking deal.
It's so deflating.
Yeah. So it was a week after that we went back, and this time walked into court. Now they're meant to put the fucking curtain up, have me walk in, and then Eunice walks in. We walked in at the same fucking time,
You
so
are
so
kidding
so
me.
we eyeballed each other, and that ruined everything in my head.
Yeah.
Who are you?
She was smiling at me,
Oh fuck.
and I'm like, everything I had in my head ready, like, yeah,
It's just gone.
Gone.
Yeah, and she's clever.
Takes you straight back.
Yeah, it took me a good hour to get back into the
mind-
swing of things,
yeah.
and they were ruthless. The questions,
What the defense?
yeah, ruthless.
I can't
digging into character.
I
digging,
can't imagine what that must have felt like.
yeah.
You're lying. She's a good person.
And the thing is, the amount of evidence the police
Against
had,
her.
yeah.
And they're still going.
You know, we had to, because we've got internal scarring from all the sticks in our throat, we had to have cameras put down our throat. Yeah, we've got coroner's reports, we've got DNA, we've got...
She didn't plead guilty.
Nope. Pled not guilty to all, I think it's 26 charges. And she got found guilty of 25.
What? That's going some.
Yeah, like normally you expect maybe 2 or 3 charges. She, the last one, they just couldn't agree on it. So,
Right.
yeah, we were blown away that she got... I was at work, and
For the sentencing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was in the canteen, and there was some other staff in there, and there was this one lady, Chris. I hated her guts, actually. I kind of like her now. I really fancied her daughter, which didn't help. And I've seen her recently. I don't know what I was seeing. I don't know. That's awful. And she just looked at, and she didn't like me particularly. I was quite hard to work with, apparently. And she just looked and went, "Well, that fucking cunt got it, didn't she?" And I just looked up at the TV. It was,
The sentencing. And,
Yeah. and she just came over and gave me a pat on the back, and that was it. And I remember walking to the shops afterwards, just like in a blur, like, what the fuck?
That's it.
They believed us.
Yeah,
It's over.
it's over.
And I would have loved to have been there. We weren't allowed to be there for sentencing.
Oh, really?
So I guess if 3 of us had opted to go, it would have been hell with logistics and stuff. So
That's true, yeah.
But I'd have loved to have heard that guilty. I would have loved to have heard that.
So you were literally only there to give evidence, cross-examination, and that was it. That was all you had to do in court. The rest of it was down to them.
Yeah. That was still 3 days, I think.
I guess the court
don't
case
belittle my role.
No, sorry, not to be like that. It's like you think of like these American court dramas, and you think like you're there for the whole thing, but realistically, you're not needed to be there.
Really.
No.
They want a certain part from you.
The court case was 6 weeks in total.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a big boy case.
Jesus, boy, like 25 charges. That's how you got to argue every single one of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
And to be found guilty of everything, basically.
Mate, that's
bar one charge.
Well, how long did she get?
So she got 14 years.
It's fucking disgusting.
Well, it is and it isn't. That was the largest non-death child abuse sentence ever given in the UK. Ever. Which is crazy. Are you
I'm just getting a drink, man. You carry on. I can still hear you.
Okay.
Anyone else want a drink?
Can I take a Red Bull?
Yeah, of course.
Merci beaucoup. So yeah, largest non-death sentence ever. Go on, pause it for a sec.
Right, sorry, I just had a quick break. Yeah, sorry, you were saying, Chris.
So yeah, she got 14 years. She appealed it, won the appeal on 2 of the charges because apparently it was too harsh a sentence. So she got demoted to 12 years.
What?
And then, of course, in the UK, because we're a bit soft,
50% with good behaviour.
Yeah.
So
I think she actually ended
broken.
up serving 7.5. I want to say.
Right.
Which is still, baby peas killers. Which was a horrific case. They served 8 years.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that death by child abuse or child negligence or something?
I think it was negligence. Yeah. So they couldn't do them for murder.
Not enough proof.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fucking horrible case.
Fucking.
Were you? The main thing is, it doesn't really fucking matter what we think or anyone else thinks. Really, it's what do you think?
So I'm a big believer in justice.
Yeah.
And I like to think our system in the UK, justice rules and all that. It still hurts. It's still smart. The biggest thing for me is, as you can look at my Insta and stuff, I spent a lot of time in hospital in 2019 with injuries related to my childhood. And her sentence ends in seven years, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's free to live her life.
Mm-hmm.
Our sentences kind of keep going because
it's for life.
Yeah.
The psychological, the physical.
Mentally and physically, it's still going to be there.
And the physical side, like the psychological, I can deal with it to a point. I still have bad days. We all have good days. We have bad days. And there are still things that trigger it quite badly. Land Rovers.
PTSD all the fuck.
Yeah.
Gaskets. Overheating.
The smell of coolant.
Yeah. It's getting old now, isn't it? It's getting old.
So Land Rovers.
It doesn't matter if they're old or new, to be honest.
No, they're all shit.
We're going to stop this.
No. It's nice to have somebody to
bounce these horrific ideas off.
Because usually he's like, they're really good. They're not.
How's your dad's Land Rover?
Which one?
The V8.
It's got to go back in for warranty, and the other one's got to go back in for a recall. So, great.
So doing well. And
mine's the only good one.
Not another one?
They won't have the parts for it either.
No, they don't.
Right, we're going to stop this. So, am I happy with her sentence? Overall, yes, because I do believe in justice, but I think that's me on a good day.
Yeah.
When I'm sat in hospital, having bits of abuse pulled out of me. That
literally,
yeah, but literally.
When did you have the wood taken out of your throat?
So the last bit of wood was 2017. I had wood. The dentist was having a root round, and it's like this gum is abnormally shaped. Like, so they took X-ray, and there was a good centimetre of wood in there. So, I got wood.
We don't anymore. They took it.
Yeah.
Did you keep it or not?
I didn't keep the wood. No, I didn't keep the wood. Still got the metal bit.
Have you?
I've still got the metal bit.
I don't know if that's a cool thing or not. I don't know if that's. I say that like it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
We were cleaning out our top room the other day where I keep all my junk, and I came across it. I'm like, do I chuck it? Oh, I couldn't because it's a part of. It was a part of it.
If they'd have taken it and it was gone, that'd be different. But the fact that you have it, I think throwing that away would be a difficult.
Yeah, like I've had some lumps and bumps removed from my butt and stuff. That sounds terrible. Lumps, scar tissue and stuff that's gone cancerous and stuff. Like they can keep that. I don't want that. No. That little metal fragment. It's kind of.
Yeah, I get it. I can't really put it into words, but I get it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I couldn't chuck it out. I did stare at it for about 5 minutes. Like, do I? Don't I? And I didn't.
But yeah,
I really need to though. Like I've got.
But
I've got to let go of some of the shit. Like I've still got all the old newspapers from the court case and stuff. And I'm like, actually, do I need any of it? Have I looked at them in the last 12 years? No. Do I need it?
It's a difficult one, and only you can make that decision. Really,
put it in a box and put it in the corner.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fucking boxes. This is yeah.
But like you say, I mean, her sentence ended. And she's as we've alluded to, she's out now.
Yeah. She doesn't live that far from me.
That's mental. That's mental.
It is very mental.
How they allow that? But I suppose there's just nothing in place to say that she can't.
Like she's within 20 miles, and I have seen her in the last year. We were just happened to be at the same service station, and
that must have been. Was it? What did you feel?
Okay, so I didn't really feel anything. I was just shocked.
Yeah, just that.
There was definitely no fear.
You wouldn't you haven't seen her since the when you were going in as a witness.
Not really. No. I've seen plenty of photos of her.
Yeah,
some idiot keeps going and taking photos of her and putting them in the press and stuff. And I say idiot. No, fair play. Seeing her in normal situation like that is
just going about her daily life. Yeah. Just thinking
was just fucking weird. It was just weird again. And everyone's like, are you sure it's her? Well, she was driving a Volvo, which gave the game away. And also, she's pretty unique looking, isn't she?
She is.
Unique Eunice.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will look her up online now and see what she's very, very unique looking.
Yeah, she was Miss Britain. No, I'm joking.
Fucking gaunt looking thing that is. Jesus.
She makes Voldemort look like
That's a good comparison.
Expelliarmus.
Well, I wish that could have worked.
But I can't imagine her life is going overly well.
Well, it's going better than mine sometimes. She gets paid to be, she lives a life of Riley on our taxes. And
so, what you mean like she's
in a protection package of some type, so they get...
You're fucking kidding.
No, she's had a name change. She's had... when you see her now, she's quite different. Like they've styled her hair out differently and stuff. She does look different, but also you'd be...
Still the same person. You can recognise her like that.
Yeah, she's not got one of those faces you can...
No, she has a very distinct...
Well, Meat Grinder would. But...
a very distinct looking face.
So yeah, our sentence keeps going. Then this brings us to Victoria, who...
That's so sad, man. It's
still raw, because so halfway through lockdown, my sister Victoria took her own life. And Victoria had been through hell, physically, mentally, but the physical stuff had really started to take its toll in the last couple of years. Mentally, she wasn't doing well, but the physical,
after the car crash and all the injuries.
Yeah, and also as she got older, the injuries just caught up with her, and they put her on stronger and stronger painkillers. Fentanyl she was on towards the end, and they were on fentanyl patches, fentanyl pills, all this stuff. And eventually she became, of course, heavily addicted to all this. Then alcohol creeps in. And Victoria and I didn't see eye to eye. And she would still call Eunice mum and stuff, and that really irked me. So I didn't really talk to Victoria, but she was still my sibling.
Yeah.
There was a link different to what other siblings have.
We
call it a bond of I've heard it called a lot of things, but it's a bond that is a trauma bond. Is so different to any other bond. It's different to blood. It's different to.
It's all like it's basically you've gone through a hugely traumatic experience with someone else. It'd be like going through war with someone almost. You literally like that because if neither, if any of us had stepped back and not helped each other, we would be dead. It'd be a very different story to what it is.
Without your team, effectively.
Yeah, it was a team. Yeah, we were a team. It was a really shit version of a Call of Duty lobby.
Less racial abuse.
less racial abuse, and we didn't quite beat the end game, but we did look like zombies.
Fuck's sake.
But we didn't beat the boss fight. But lovely game of terms there. That broke me. Again, the car coming up. Actually, the police phoned me and like, "Are you at home? We need to have a chat." Now, I thought I'd been caught fucking speeding.
Shag, they just usually send a letter for that.
Yeah. I'm like, they've caught me on the bike and I must have been going real quick. John, I blame you. Some of the rides John and I have done were fuck me.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. So I'm like, they've caught me badly this time. They've caught me bad. They've come to have a chat.
We're coming to cut up your license.
So I opened the door expecting almost a bit of jovial, like...
Right.
Yeah. And I know most of the coppers in my area. He put his hat down. Instantly, I know one of us is dead. Like, one of us three are dead. I thought it also could be my real dad, but they wouldn't have come to the house to tell me that, I don't think. And it was... Just comes up to me, "I'm sorry, your sister Victoria's dead." And at first, I just did not know what to say. I felt so sorry for the copper because I went, "That's bad, isn't it?" Because my brain just could not process
reacting to stuff like that. People, so many different reactions.
He's like, "Yes, it is."
He's just like, "Oh."
And we had a little chat on the doorstep, and then I went back into the house, and my wife was like, "What's happened?" I'm like, "Oh, Victoria committed suicide," and she just broke down in full tears because it was like, it's tragic. And then watching her response suddenly triggered my response.
Yeah.
And that was brutal. And it was the way she hung herself. There's no...
it could have been, it might have been, it was,
Yeah, you almost kind of hope it was like, Keith from Pink Floyd, or that he was having a good time and maybe took a bit too much.
Yeah. Too many bills, too much booze. That's
what you hope.
Could have been one way or the other. Yeah.
And her partner Anthony is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Her partner Anthony, they were on off and stuff, but they loved each other so much. And he was the one who found her after she wouldn't answer phone calls for a couple of hours. I can't imagine that. Like,
no.
And I'd never talked to his family, but I reached out to them. They were amazing. They were like, they looked after us. And that funeral, fuck me. For one thing, it was in COVID, so we could only have. I think it was 15 people. They let that slide a little bit, but not even my wife could come.
No, I went.
And fuck me, I broke so bad. Anthony was like, her favourite piece of music is from Gladiator, that big dramatic song.
Yeah.
And they played that, and fuck me, I was bawling like
gone.
Yeah, I was absolutely gone. The cold-hearted policewoman came and held me up. Victoria, I remember. No, I'm joking. I'm going to get killed. I was gone. I had to be basically held up. I don't cry. I'm not a crier. That got me. Actually, no, puppy videos. I do cry at puppy videos.
They're just so fucking cute.
Send Chris puppy videos.
I'm not a crier out of emotions. Like I'm very much a believer in just get the fuck on with it. Like, this got me. I was broken, and even now, check them on my Instagram. Like every year, I do a little video. It's been just come up to 3 years. I do a little video, and I still fucking bawl my eyes out. Like,
it's not like you said. It's not just losing a sister, is it? It's, you've lost someone who literally went through all this with you, and now she's not here. It's I can't imagine.
and it also feels like Eunice has won. She hasn't. Don't get me wrong,
no,
but it almost feels like actually she has slightly,
yeah.
and that's fucking hard to take.
She was it that she struggled with.
She still think I don't want to put words in.
No, I just.
But I know she struggled.
Sorry, I shouldn't have.
No. It's a valid
pontificating.
question. It's a valid question. I think she struggled with. I know she, out of all of us, she struggled the most with letting go that wasn't her mum.
Yeah.
So all the rest of us, don't get me wrong, my parents were not amazing. Oh, fuck. But all the rest of us had something else to look to. But Eunice was Victoria's mum from very young.
She'd known nothing else.
Yes. And she'd dobbed her in her own brain, I guess. And she'd never forgiven herself for that.
Oh,
and
God.
in a lot of her Facebook posts, she called her mum still, right until the end. So she struggled, I think, out of the three of us, she struggled the most with mental health. And then, of course, she had all that physical stuff. She had the worst set of cards.
It's just awful, man. It's just the whole story. It's just, I mean, for yourself, obviously, but like Victoria, I mean, it just, like, the whole thing is just so fucking crushingly sad.
Yeah. It's
So fucked up.
It is pretty fucked up. I wouldn't recommend day one tries it.
No.
TripAdvisor 0 out of 5.
2 out of 5. There were some good times.
like you can't, yeah.
Business class, mate.
Even I
makes it
haven't
fly.
flown business.
It is bougie as fuck.
Cool, man. Afford it.
But I know
All you need to do is abuse some kids.
find a load of money from somewhere that nobody still
Yeah,
knows where it
absolutely.
fucking came from.
Out of our arseholes, possibly.
But onto a slightly more positive note, what is it that you're doing now, Chris?
So, I'm very lucky. I've made a career for myself, do IT,
Yeah.
all sorts of cool shit in that world. Get to fly around the world with it. Yeah, loving that. I'm 100% lucky to say I've got a toddler myself. For years, I was told I couldn't have kids. For years, I was told actually I shouldn't have kids. The head of Gloucestershire Social Services once told me abused kids.
Abused kid. Yeah, I've hurt people, that whole thing.
Yeah. And that put me off kids for a long time.
That's not really a good thing to say to someone.
Well, not considering I was employed by him at the same time at that point. I'm like, well, that's ruined the fucking
cunt.
Christmas, dude.
I'll fucking abuse you in a minute, you can.
Yeah, he was an interesting chap. I brought a lot of shame, apparently, to social services. So,
What?
yeah, so when I tried to work for them, it was a bit awkward.
Oh, because they had enormously dropped the fucking ball.
They had dropped the ball just slightly
Oh, well.
from the height of a dam. Yeah.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I nearly twatted him. I'm not going to lie, because he was a gnarly
Asshole.
little shit. I really wanted...
Oh,
My initial thought was, I'm going to headbutt you.
I don't think.
But
I don't think the police would have been like, yeah, no case to answer.
Yeah.
Chair leg comes out.
We haven't really explained the whole love of chair legs.
Right,
have we?
come on.
Okay. So we were abused heavily with chair legs, and my brother-in-law, Chris, we've just got this fascination of taking the piss out of my childhood. So, like, when we go to IKEA and stuff, we will buy each other chair legs. We will...
You sadistic bastards.
And even in my wedding, we both managed to, both of our speeches contained secret chair legs throughout the whole speech. Like, my brother nearly coughed on his pint at the time, just like you've said what? half the people didn't get it. Half the people hadn't been abused enough to get the depths of shit.
Depravity that you were joking about.
And the thing is, he's got MS. He's been through some horrific shit himself, and I'm in awe of him. He's brilliant, and for us to be able to joke, like, yeah, it's brilliant. So that's why we keep mentioning chair legs. I don't want people thinking I like have a side business in them or something.
You were just showing us your amount of unread emails you have on your phone, which terrified me to tell. You said I cleared
autistic.
these 3 months ago. What is it you're doing in regards to, using what you've been through in a positive way? Because I find this just fucking incredible, mate.
I am so lucky that I've got a platform and have been given, you guys as well, give me a chance to talk about my story. I'm really lucky that I've got a platform that I can help others now. And I've always had an open email, open messenger policy that if anyone is going through shit, message me and I will try and help. Now, I'm not going to give you all the answers, but if it's quite often, it's just someone to talk to and someone they can rant and know that they're not being judged. Like, it's normal.
I think a lot of it is just people just want to vent and tell someone else.
Yeah.
I think.
And then a few cases, it's people who've they vented and then go, what can I do with this? And then I'm like, well, you need to contact these people. But when you're ready, no one's going to force you into this thing. A lot of it is historic abuse. I actually went through and did the statistics, and the average person who emails me is 56 years old.
Wow.
So a lot of it is historic. So these people have kept this for all that time.
Pent up inside.
Yeah. And then something within my story has triggered them enough to message me. And a few have gone on to have successful, justice out of it.
Really?
Quite a lot, sadly. The people who've abused them have passed away and stuff.
Since dead, yeah.
But they've still gone on to vent or
just to
get
it
therapy.
out there, so it's no longer just...
And know that it's not their fault.
And it's not just this repressed thing that happened that I don't talk about and just bottle it up, and it's probably the cause of a lot of pain in their life.
Yeah. And then you've got the other side, people who I'm a big supporter in mental health, people who are going through mental health issues, might not be abuse related, but, life's fucking hard, even without the abuse. Life is fucking hard at times, and if you're having mental health issues, it doesn't matter, it could be the smallest thing will trigger and might push you over the edge.
Yeah.
I've always said, message me. I'll try and respond, or I can signpost you to the right person, and that happens a lot. And it must do my wife's head in, because I am glued to my phone.
Yeah, constantly.
Constantly. I've taken calls at 3 or 4 in the morning. Messaging, it gets a bit weird if I'm abroad and the time zones. Good evening. No, it's morning, you fucking bastard. I mean, how are you? But I've always, I've been lucky to try, and I've worked with a lot of charities, Victoria Climby Foundation in London, NSPCC. I've been a patron of theirs before in the past. I am so lucky to be able to use my story to actually get some engagement. There will be, I said it in the last podcast I did with James English, there will be a point, and we're approaching it very quickly, where I'm actually going to stop telling my story.
Yeah.
And it's time to put it to bed and move on. And if you can move on, don't get me wrong. So, I want this story to actually act as almost a success story, because yes, you can go through all that shit, and don't get me wrong, there's people who've been through worse than me, but you can go through quite an extreme case of child abuse and still be all right, still make it, still have a family, still have a kid, and
a successful human being.
Well, I just thank you. I don't think so.
And a better shot than me.
Even with a fucked up collarbone.
Yeah.
Who goes shooting with a broken collarbone, Chris? God damn it.
Bear in mind, he never mentioned this. We said, we'll go out shooting, we'll have some food. Yeah, sounds awesome.
Get the shotguns out.
Yeah, broken collarbone, go shooting. Fantastic idea, that.
made a really nice clicking noise.
God.
I thought it was the pump going off.
Yeah, that was a good laugh. Thank you for that, chaps.
No, it's the least we can do.
But yeah, I'm very lucky. I've been given a platform to tell my story, and also, hopefully, if someone watches it and feels, that they can relate to any of it, or maybe they just need, pick me up.
Yeah.
If my story can just help one person, then it's worth telling. Because don't get me wrong, when you tell stories like this, there's an after effect. There will be in a couple of days' time, I will have a fucking low day because of you. No, I'm joking.
Sorry.
Hashtag sauce. There has to be effect. But for me, even if I help one person, worth it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's worth it. Because people have been there to help me. I mentioned John, my social worker, who dragged me off a bridge when I was at my weakest. He could have gone home at 5 o'clock like any other social worker.
Yeah.
But no, he was driving around trying to find me. And then I wrote his motorbike off. Oops.
Sorry, mate.
I just want to say, Chris, you are a fucking inspirational man. I know it's always difficult to take praise from somebody who sat right across from you, but you're an inspirational bloke, mate, and it is a fucking privilege and an honour to have met you and for you to have come on our pokey little show in the middle of Shepton
I
Mallet.
fucking love it. Apart from the town.
Leave my good Christian town.
It's very Tory around here.
It really isn't.
You come down the other end of the estate, Shag. We'll show you right.
I live in Cheltenham, so I can't talk about
Yeah, I'm
Tory.
gonna say,
Jesus.
But it really is, and you are a fucking inspiration, mate. Yeah,
Bless you, man. Thank you.
What you have achieved after what you've been through is nothing short of
A fucking miracle.
a miracle and absolutely amazing. And it's a testament to you yourself as the strength that you have shown and your will to just carry on in life is absolutely fucking incredible, mate. So I take my hat off to you because I've never met a bloke like you before, and I probably won't ever again. So
That's probably a good thing.
No, and this has been. We've never done a two-parter. I didn't know where this was going to go when we started it. I was like, we're just going to hit record, and you're going to tell your story, and we're going to do funnies. And because, like I said from the start, I heard your story. I did some reading on it, and I was just like, he's funny. It's an amazing story, and I was like, if anyone's going to come on here and tell a really important story, I was like, it's got to be Chris. I was like, it's got to be this guy. I knew you'd mesh so well with what we do here.
It works well. It works well.
And it's been fantastic, mate. If you ever want to come back on for a fucking laugh and a shit and a giggle, and you just want to leave all this totally behind you, just come back on for the crack and a laugh and just drink some beers, you are absolutely more than welcome. We'd be honoured to have you
I have
back.
drank half your beer, though.
For the listeners, Chris did offer. He said, "Do I need to bring anything? Do I need to bring any beer?" I was like, "We've got that one covered."
They've got at least 3 pints in here.
There's no fucking spiced rum left, though.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's good rum. I don't know which one was that.
Thanks, Cam.
That was Cam Davey. He brought that for us. That's Lamb's Caribbean Spiced. Yeah.
I finished that up, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. Chris, where can everyone get in contact with you if you want people to get in contact with you?
So, christopher.seth.spry@gmail.com is my main email address for you can send anything to it.
I'll obviously put all the links in.
No
the description
Thank you
as well.
no dick pics. No dick pics. Anything else, welcome. A joke. I forgot my Instagram handle. Hold that thought. Hold it. Yeah. This is getting long, isn't it? Christopher.spry88 is my Instagram handle, and that'll also take you to my Facebook.
Yeah, I'll put all these links in the bio, obviously.
You're a star, thank you.
Where can people find your book?
Amazon. They haven't done a reprint in a little while now, but Amazon, and then hopefully we'll get a reprint going soon.
What's the book called?
Child C by
Child
Christopher
C.
Spry.
Right, and there... You want to...
There's rumours.
There's rumours. There's rumours
of more stories to be told.
Yeah,
You're
we were...
joking. Not another one?
You've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
His finger just... For him,
I don't know what his fingers are doing. Jesus.
Well, it's been incredible, Chris.
Yeah,
and
thank you so much for coming
Thank
down.
you for having me, guys.
Mate, it's been an honour to meet you and an absolute privilege to have you on. So thank you so much for coming down, mate. Right.
That's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap. Yeah, that's been a what a day. What a day.
Oh, what a day.
I think I took that off the
Right.
soundboard.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit controversial,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Come
There
on,
you go.
Craig. Pleased to meet you.
You can have that.
You encouraged this, remember? You encouraged the soundboard.
I would love a soundboard just in life, I think.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Right,
That's
that's it.
right.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Yeah, all the links will be in the episode description. I've been Reg.
I've been Marlon.
And I'm being Chris, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I've been Chris, yeah.
Right. We will catch you all next week. Much love and goodbye.
Cheers.
That was amazing, mate. That was literally like, yeah.
Is that the longest one you've done so far?
Absolutely. Yeah.